Well, brethren, good morning. We're still on the same theme of precious things in the Bible, and today we move into the New Testament to the Gospel of Matthew. In Matthew chapter 26 and verses 6 and 7, we read the following. Now, when Jesus was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. I don't know whether you men who watch this daily devotional have ever gone out to buy your wife a bottle of perfume. You can get relatively cheap perfume, maybe for £10 or £15 a bottle, or you can go and get something like Chanel number 5 and pay £50 or £60 for a bottle. You could go even higher than that and pay a lot more for some of the much more exclusive perfumes that are on the market. From time to time, and it is very occasionally, I have bought my wife some expensive perfume. And it's not the sort of thing that you spray all over the place and waste. You wouldn't spray it, for example, as an air freshener around the room before somebody comes in. It's something that is used sparingly. Here, Jesus, in this chapter in Matthew, is visiting the home of a leper by the name of Simon. And while he's there eating, a woman who is in the home takes an alabaster box in which is contained very precious ointment. I think one of the other gospel calls it spikenard. And the value of that ointment was about 1 year's salary for an ordinary working person. So it was extremely precious, extremely valuable. And yet this woman takes that box, breaks it open, and pours that ointment over Jesus. She realised that soon he was going to die, and she was preparing his body for death. And the outpouring of this ointment on Jesus was an outpouring of the love that she had for the Saviour. We're not told an awful lot about this woman, but there's no doubt that this woman felt a great love for the Saviour. There's no doubt that Jesus had done something for this woman, probably forgiven her of her sins. And this woman, in reciprocal love, demonstrates her full commitment to and love for the Saviour by taking that which is most precious to her and using it to glorify her Saviour. Whenever I read this, it challenges me. A woman who is willing to give almost everything that she had to minister to Jesus. And I ask myself the question, am I prepared to do that? In my giving to the Lord for the work of his church and the glory of his name, am I willing to give as this woman gave, sacrificially, beyond what might be expected? Or do we salve our conscience by putting a few pounds into the collection plate? Brethren, this ointment was precious. It was extremely valuable. And yet this woman was not prepared to hang on to it. She knew that it could be used to minister to Jesus and for his glory. Let us take this woman's example and allow it to be a challenge to us with respect to what we are willing to give to the Lord and to the Lord's cause. When we think of what he gave for us, should we not be willing to give much more, indeed to give our all to him? Precious, ointment. May God bless his word to our hearts this morning.